Errol Barnett joins me from Washington. So, Errol, we know that China has lodged a formal complaint with the U.S. over Donald Trump's phone call with Taiwan. What's the Obama administration doing to try and defuse the situation?
Well, Rena, you're right. That formal complaint came in the form of a statement issued by China's foreign ministry spokesperson, in which they said the one China policy is the foundation of the relationship between the U.S. And China, and they warned against any unnecessary interference in it. Also, China's foreign minister is quoted Saturday as saying that this call from Taiwan to the president-elect was a, quote, little trick. A little trick, they say, played by Taiwan on Mr. Trump. The Obama administration really is just trying to steady the ship, or I should say, trying to land this plane with international headwinds before the next pilot takes over and Mr. Trump come January. The White House has said that they stand behind the one China policy, this policy that the U.S. only deals directly with China and not diplomatically with countries with which it has challenge their sovereignty, like Taiwan, but really they only have 47 days left in office. So there's not much this administration can do on this issue, because the question is, what kind of president will Mr. Trump be? Yeah,
everyone's wondering that. But, you know, Errol, this really isn't the first time that Donald Trump has spoken to a foreign leader without guidance from the State Department. The White House has been telling him, we've got folks at the State Department who can help you piece through these relationships. So what do you think this might indicate about how he plans to conduct foreign policy?
Well, it shows that Mr. Trump will likely behave as president as he has as a candidate, which means he does things his own way. He goes against tradition and policy and essentially goes with his gut. If we think back to some of these other meetings he's had, he met in person with Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The only other American in the room was his daughter Ivanka. That goes against U.S. policy. He had a phone call with Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. After that call, Pakistan's government said that Mr. Trump called the Pakistani Prime Minister a terrific guy, and that when he was invited to visit the country, he said he can't wait to come to a fantastic country with fantastic people. The Trump transition team, though, simply said that it was a productive conversation. So he's getting experience in how these conversations, these meetings, can be interpreted different ways from other parties, and that may trigger some kind of international incident. And that's why you have the White House press secretary Josh Earnest on Thursday publicly urging Mr. Trump to take advantage of the resources available to him right now at the State Department, the diplomats, the experts, the people who can set up these phone calls, provide pre-approved briefing notes, these vetted bits of information that are created as to avoid any international incident. But Mr. Trump has been suspicious and skeptical of not just the Obama administration, but government in general. And, you know, when we also consider that Mr. Trump has only received about 3 of the daily intelligence briefings available to him, you have this deepening concern here in Washington that this former reality star, this person who enjoyed speaking in front of tens of thousands of people on the campaign trail, has time to create a victory tour, but doesn't necessarily have as much time to get into the details, to read briefing notes, and to do the hard work behind the scenes that is required of a president. Another international relationship that is deepening is Mr. Trump's relationship with the new Filipino president, Rodrigo Duterte. He apparently has been invited to the White House next year, and Duterte's anti-crime policy, which is dubbed double barrel, apparently, according to Mr. Duterte, has been praised by Mr. Trump, and by Mr. Duterte's own calculation, has taken the lives of 5,000 people. And all of this, Rena, before the president-elect has even made an announcement on who his Secretary of State will be. So the pressure is mounting, the concerns are mounting as well, and Mr. Trump is not even president yet. Oh, it's so fascinating. Also, Duterte we can't forget the interesting words he had about President Obama just a short time before meeting with him. So a lot will be percolating. We'll see if Citizen Trump's take on foreign policy will be the same as President Trump. Errol Barnett, thank you. Sure.